Hello, I'm Brian Esser from How To Automotive. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do front brakes on a Toyota Tacoma. We're going to be using tools that we got at the local auto parts store. Simple, no fancy tools. We're going to do this now, so come with me. So I'm doing this home in my garage, just like you guys would be doing it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get a breaker bar, a 21 millimeter, and crack all the lug nuts loose. Once I've loosened up all the lug nuts, then I'll jack the vehicle up, put it on jack stands, and then I'll take the wheels off completely. If you try to take these wheels off after you jack it up, it's just going to spin on you. It's going to give you a hard time. So loosen the lug nuts first. All right, so I got all four wheels off, and for additional safety, I put the tires underneath the vehicle. That way, if this truck was to fall, it would land on those tires and less likely to fall on you. Just an added layer of safety. So I got all four wheels off. We're gonna get started on the front brakes. If you notice, the wheel is turned so the caliper is facing out to where I can work on it. So what I'm gonna do first is right here is a pin. I'm gonna pull the pin out here, and then there's another pin right here. Pull those out and set those aside. So these pins are gonna look like this. So we're gonna set those aside. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna depress the caliper back into its bore. So we're going to spread the caliper back out, and that's going to allow us to get our new pads in and take our old pads out. All right, so like I said, we're not using any fancy tools. We're just using the tools that we have here. So we're going to press these back in. That's going to push the brake fluid back up into the master cylinder. If your master cylinder is super full, which it shouldn't be if your brake pads are worn out, you may want to suck a little fluid out of the master cylinder. But what we're going to use is just flat blade screwdrivers, maybe a little pry bar like this. Just basic tools, and what we're gonna do is get these in between the pad and the rotor and just give it a pry. And once you get it going, then you'll be able to go right. The best way to do it is go in the center of it. And once you get it going, now you can pry the pad in. And if your caliper's not frozen or anything like that, it should be pretty easy to get the pad to go in. If you have a pry bar, it has a little angle on it. It makes it a little easier. So I get one of them in going first, and you pry it. You'll feel it fully seat. You'll see it go all the way in, and you'll feel it fully seat. So now that one's fully seat. Now you see the rotors rocking back and forth. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wedge this in here and use another screwdriver, and then do this, and then pry. And then you can pry one this way and pull one towards you, and that'll pry the two brake pads out. Once it's fully out like that, now the rotor should be floating. Now what we can do is go ahead and take these clips off. So I'm just pulling these clips out. Now I take the pin, slide the pin out, set that aside, pin out, set that aside. Now you can take this clip off, set this aside. Now you can take the brake pads out and set them aside. Before we take the mounting brackets off, we actually want to disconnect the brake line. We don't want to disconnect it from the caliper, but we want to disconnect it from the bracket here. This metal line here is hard mounted. If you were to unbolt this off and try to move it, it would bend or possibly break the line. So we need to take this 12 millimeter bolt off right here. So I'm just using a standard ratchet, and we're going to take this off. Once we get this bolt off, now what we're going to do is we're going to just take it out of the little bracket like that. Now the hose, it's floating off the hose here. So now we can go ahead and remove those 17 millimeters. Standard wrenches and ratchets and stuff that everybody would have in their toolbox. So I'm going to go on here, but you notice that this is short, super short. So I took the jack handle off my jack. Now I'm going to use it as a breaker bar, put it on there and crack it free. And that's going to make it much easier to break it free. Once you got it broken free, you should be able to take it off. So there's thread locker. There's this glue thread locker that are on the threads, and that's the reason why it's coming off slow like that. Once you get it going, though, it usually comes off pretty easily. Two, you put an extension and make it longer. But I'm trying to work around it and work with what I got. All right, so now they're both loose. Now I'm going to run the bolts off completely. Now if you have impact tools, by all means use them. I would. So you're going to take the bolts off like that, set this aside. All right, once you get the 2 bolts out, now you want to lift the caliper off like this, but you do not want to let it just hang from all this right here. So what I'm going to use is just some old wire and wrap it around here, and then I'm going to tie it up over here on the suspension. So I'm going to use the wire to hold it over here on the suspension, and then I'm going to take the rotor off and we'll service the rotor. So now it's hanging up over here. So now I got a tip for you on the rotor here. So a lot of times these rotors sometimes will get stuck on the hub. Sometimes you can just smack them off with a hammer. If you want to reuse them and you don't want to put dings or dent on them, there's a technique you can use. You can get a bolt that's 8mm by 125 threads, and there's a couple spots in the rotor. You just thread those in right here, and as you spread these in and tighten them up, it'll draw the rotor off and pull the rotor off. And there's 2 of them, so you can put one on each side and you can pop the rotor off. So once you get that, now you can get the rotor off. Now, depending on where you are, your hub may be super rusty. It's recommended that you clean this hub with a wire brush and wire brush this out and get this cleaned up. So a simple wire brush like this, or if you have one that's on a drill or anything like that, you want to clean the hub up and get this nice and free. If you need to use sandpaper, whatever it takes to get that nice and free. You want your new rotor to sit flush on the hub. You don't want any imperfections where it will rock or anything like that and cause vibrations or noises. So you want to get that cleaned up. All right, so now that you got your hub cleaned up, now you're ready to put your new rotor on. Okay, so your new rotor is going to have an oil film on there that they put on there at the factory to prevent it from rusting while it's on the shelf. So you're going to need some brake clean like that. I use Gunk brand brake clean. They're my favorite brand. They also sponsor my channel. So you want to spray that off and then get as much of that grease that they put on there off. So you want to give it a good healthy spray front and back. Once you got that cleaned off, you can use some rags to wipe it down, and then you're going to go ahead and install it on your hub. Once your rotor is all cleaned up, now you can go ahead and install it on the hub. I like to use a lug nut. Screw the lug nut on there, and that'll hold the rotor in place. Now that'll hold the rotor in place while we put the caliper back on. So now we're going to address the caliper here. So the same thing right here on the channels, you want to use a wire brush and scrub these out and make sure that there's no rust and buildup of dust and grime and road grime and all that stuff. You want to make sure that that's free. Also, the mounting surfaces here, you want to make sure that that's free. And you also want to do a thorough inspection to make sure there's no seals ripped or anything like that on your caliper. Once you're satisfied with that, now you can go ahead and put the caliper back onto the bracket. Now on the bolt here, it's recommended that you use thread locker. This thread locker prevents it's kind of like a glue that you put on the threads. This is a medium base. It's not super strong. It's a medium base, and it prevents these bolts from vibrating loose and coming back off. So you just want to put a small amount on the threads here, just on the tip here. Once you got it on both bolts, now you can go ahead and start the bolts on the back side of the caliper. Now we can run these bolts in until they're tight, and then we'll snug them up. I'm going to show you the torque specs. If you don't have a torque wrench, then you would just tighten them up as tight as you can get them with what you got. All right, so depending on what vehicle your Toyota Tacoma is, the specs may differ. I looked mine up on ChatGPT. It gives me the caliper specs, the mounting bracket specs, everything. You just type in the year, make, model, or what you're working on. That's the great thing about ChatGPT. It has all that information there. Now you just set your torque wrench up to whatever your vehicle is set at, and then you can go ahead and just get back here and torque these down. Mine's set at 91 foot-pounds, so I'm going to go ahead and torque these down to 91 foot-pounds. So I'm gonna get my ratchet on here and then go ahead and click these down. All right, so now we need to prep our new brake pads. So depending on where you got your brake pads, it may or may not come with hardware. It may require you to use the old hardware. If you have to use the old hardware, I recommend you use a wire wheel or a brush and clean the pins off. You want to scrub this debris off. Also, if this hardware is super rusted up, then you may consider getting a hardware kit for your brake pads and replace those. So I'm gonna spend a little time on this and clean these up. The two pins, mine came with the spring and the new clips to hold it on, but it did not come with the pins here. So we're gonna spend a little time on this and clean these pins up. And then once you get these cleaned up, I also recommend that you use a little bit of Seal Glide grease, and you can put a little dab of Seal Glide grease on these pins. I mean, just a little thin layer. You don't need a lot. Just put these on here like this and lubricate these pins, but you want to wipe 90% of it off. You just want it to be nice and lubricated. So you do the same thing for both pins. Once you got the pins cleaned up and lubricated, where the pads will slide on here, because if they get stuck, the pads will stick and wear out funny or whatever. So you want to make sure that these are in good shape. Now you can take your brake pads. You want to make sure that you don't get the grease and grime on it. There's a plastic film on mine on the pads itself. So you want to avoid touching the mating surface here. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up and get these out. These are labeled inner and outer. The inner has the squealer, so as it wears down to touch this, it makes a squealing noise to let you know that you need brakes. So that's going to go in the inside. So I like to put the Seal Glide on the backing portion of my brake pads, rub this in, a thin layer of this, and this will help prevent vibrations and squeaks. This is a technique that I've been using for almost 30 years. You got to make sure that it's high temp silicone based grease is made for brake calipers. A lot of times the grease will come with it in the pack. It's a high temp based grease. So you want to put a thin layer on that on. Now you can go ahead and slide that in right there. If you want to, you can put a thin layer of that grease on the leading edges right here, and that'll help it slide back and forth. Same thing with the outer pad. Just a thin little layer. Rub that in, making sure not to get it on the mating surface here. Now you can go ahead and put that in. So if you notice, this goes around the hub here and the circles go outwards. So go ahead and put that in, making sure that the brake pad goes in towards the rotor. Now you can take your pin and slide it through. You may have to float the pad to get everything to line up. The top pin, you can go ahead and put the clip in. Now you can install the pin. Now there's one more step we can do. The next step is we're going to remount our brake line hardware here. So you put that in the hole, take your bolt, line that up, run that in, and snug it up. Another thing I wanted to mention is if you don't have access to a torque wrench, a lot of the parts stores will rent them out to you or loan them to you. They have a loaner tool program. You go down there and grab it. It's definitely worth torquing, fasteners like this down. So, and then especially calipers, and then also wheels. So you might want to go down to the parts store and grab yourself a torque wrench, either to purchase or to borrow and loan to do this job. All right, so now you notice I've turned the wheel back to straight, and now what we're going to do is go ahead and put the wheel on. There's one more step after you put the wheel on. You got to pump the brake pedal to get the caliper to seat, all the brake pads to seat on here. So you want to pump that brake pedal 3 or 4 times until the pads seat on here. We do not have to bleed the system or anything if you do the job the way I'm done here. So make sure you take off your old lug nut, go ahead and put your wheel on, run that on and torque it down. You can use ChatGPT to find out your wheel spec torque and tighten those down. Once you get it tightened down and your brake pedal pumped, then you can go ahead and lower it down and off the jack stands, and then tighten it down and torque it. Thank you again for watching, and be sure to subscribe.